Welcome to Backstabbers, the only podcast where we're not just sticking needles in your back, we're talking behind it too. All right, coming to you live and together. This is not our normal recording studio.
We're in the same state and everything.
We are
Same
in the same
room.
state.
Same
So I conned him into coming and running a race. We should put an asterisk by that because
running a race.
our children got involved, and we'll just blame them. For being honest, it was a lot of me too. But
sometimes having that excuse is absolutely.
I was not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. It's supposed to be 5K. And
I saw an alternative option when we got there this morning. You could do 1.5 miles, right? Because it was half of the 5K.
We'd already decided, we were like, ooh, half of the 5K sounds
lovely.
pretty good.
Especially since mine didn't even want to walk to the desk to sign in.
Well, we had all kind of decided we weren't going to run. We might jog a little bit, but we were going to, just take it easy, look at the sights. And they yell start, and my two children sprint.
They sprinted.
I was like, this was not the plan.
No.
I did not intend to sprint. I have not stretched. I am old. I don't run.
And mine looked at me and goes, I'm not doing that. And I was like, all right, girl.
Yeah.
Good girl.
So we
Trained you well.
Yeah, ended up split pretty early because Alex does run. So bless her, she ran with me after my children that had just taken off. And Sarah, bless her heart, had to carry her peanut most of that 1.5 miles.
You know, it was killing me that, that side stitch you get when you run and they're calling it hip pain.
They were
all
like, I got hip pain.
Yeah. I was like, why are your hips hurt? You're 8.
I know.
What is wrong with you?
Guess we should have stretched. I don't know.
It's like, is a leg longer? What's going on?
That's the first thing I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
We have to get you stacked shoes. Then I asked where the hip pain was, and it was
real high up.
Yeah.
It's a high hip.
I was like, well, I feel better. That is not your hip.
No, that's
just funny that they both on two different, not together. Yeah,
And it was a color run, so they threw color at you, and I avoided it very well until she climbed on my back, and then apparently that is a big target.
Well, and I knew it was a color run, and I wanted to look cute is what I was trying for, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to ruin my clothes or my shoes. Fail.
Well, I knew it was a color run. I didn't want to ruin my shoes or my hair, so I was going to wear a hat, but I'm so not a hat person, so I ended up quitting that. I was like, I'll figure out the hair, it'll be fine. But my clothes were terrible, and now in pictures I'm like, oh, I wish I'd have worn cuter clothes.
They were, well, I've done a color run where they were not friendly and they just doused you no matter what you wanted, but these usually asked.
Yeah, they did ask, and it seemed to wipe off pretty easily. It dusted off.
Yeah, I had the one kid that dumped a whole pack on my shoe, and it was all in between my toes.
Yeah.
But
you couldn't decide if you liked it or not.
I know. I was like, I don't know if I like this or hate it. It's definitely one of the others. There's no in between.
Yeah, that's how we started our day, and then we got donuts afterwards when we bailed.
What else are we supposed
to do? Why not? Crack tea and donuts right after we didn't even run half of our race.
Right. They don't even know.
It's called healthy living, guys.
We burned some calories.
And then we went and we went shopping.
We did. We did some good shopping.
We got some cute jeans.
We supported some small business.
Y'all are going to see pictures because we got matching jeans.
That's true. We did.
Yes, we did. We're 3 grown adult women. We're not ashamed. We're going to wear them tonight. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to post pictures and let y'all make fun of us.
Oh, speaking of matching, these are lacy.
Turquoise can't come to here and not wear turquoise. So we went plundering and found some.
Went to Lacey's shop. Got it. And then what do? We ate Mexican because that's also what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then
sadly no margaritas because hashtag dry county.
Then we went and saw Lacey's new stomping grounds and her mountain.
Oh, it's amazing. We'll add some photos. And
yeah.
The views are just priceless. It's amazing. I just
was in awe. Convince me otherwise. I know I'm from here, but it's beautiful here.
It's special.
It is. And then after we met the cows, that was exciting, and they're adorable.
So precious.
And Lazy's amazing grandmother.
She was blowing my mind, guys. She literally she crawled up over the fence to get back to where the cows were, and then she ran, like, she's 85 and she ran, and I was like,
Continuously ran everywhere.
"Wow,
She
to
runs
be you."
everywhere.
She's going on like 35.
She's beautiful. Does she do Botox
84.
though?
Never.
Her face
How is her
is it Vaseline?
did she
So the only skincare I've ever known her to do is wash her face with just like soap.
Uh-huh.
And we love some sea breeze. Sea breeze cures all things.
Okay.
Lots of sea breeze, which is kind of like an astringent line.
It is.
I feel
I
like.
grew up with that too.
And then I think about once a week or so, I'd have to ask her to get the time down exactly, but she does Vaseline.
That is the
Just
key.
on your skin, just like as a moisturizer?
I don't know how they don't break out. Because my grandmother did that too. My grandmother, I was telling her, they remind me of each other a lot,
Yeah.
and she had beautiful skin too. And I'd be like, what do you do? She just Vaseline all over, just
Yeah.
slathered on.
At night? Do you sleep with it?
She slept with it.
Okay.
I think mine does it during the day for a couple of hours, then washes it off.
She didn't need makeup. She'd wear it whenever she wants. I got to cover this stuff up during the day for everybody else's sake.
No, she's beautiful. We'll also do a little picture of her. She's so cute. She's so cute.
She's a pretty cool lady, that's for sure.
She is.
I snuck a little video of her calling the cows over.
Oh,
It's very loud. That's where I get my loudness from.
it's impressive.
Yeah, the kids got to feed horses and donkey and cows, slept on them.
It's been a fun-filled day. And then Aaron came out and drove us around the property. So that was
We got to see all the fun parts of the mountain.
Yeah.
And then we came home and detickified.
Yes.
And that is an Arkansas slang phrase. You got to
Tickify.
come home and detickifiy.
Yep. Yeah, that's a process.
And I'm drinking Alani right now because
Same. We need all the energy.
and we got to stay up.
Yeah, this episode powered by Alani. Sponsor us.
Yeah. Amen. Speaking of, for those who like Alani, we've just discovered that they come in to-go sticks that you mix in your water.
packet.
Yeah, I think it was like a 10-pack, probably for the price of 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Way cheaper.
It was way cheaper.
Oh, I need to do that.
yeah.
I know. I mean, a lot.
I do love the cans though, but yes.
I do, but in my car I don't. It's
'Cause they're too small.
skinny and
I
they
agree.
flop around.
yeah. I had this discussion with one of our coworkers. He drinks the Celsius ones and he counts it as drinking his water, like it's a flavored water. And so one person in the room was like, absolutely not.
I think that's pushing it.
And I was like, I mean, it kind of
It's like, do you call your coffee your water intake?
I was, yeah, for your beer.
Why, Devin?
I mean-
he looked it up. I can't remember. It basically said that it could count as a hydration. That people say caffeine is dehydrating, but like the ratio of it. We looked up this whole article because we had this whole argument.
It's been a hot topic.
Yeah, I know. And he was like, "Oh, that's actually a good question." So he was like, "I mean, I guess technically you could count it as your water." Is what I don't remember what all the articles said, but as that was the
conclusion.
as our education went.
I'll count it.
Who knew?
And why not lean on the air of our
I mean,
ways?
I need to pretend I'm hydrating in all the ways. So
Every kind.
Well, I was just talking with one of our circulators in the OR the other day. She was trying to up her water intake, and I was like, you can't go to the bathroom when you want, though, when
Yeah,
you're in the OR.
that's
So
true.
It's hard.
I was like, I was worried my thirst center was broken, but when I'm pregnant or breastfeeding, I'm like so thirsty. So I know it works. So during the I don't know, I just don't get thirsty. I think
Maybe you've
it's
just
a
trained yourself.
I do think we
survival
train
thing.
ourselves. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
Well, because you
yeah.
make yourself not thirsty, so you don't have to. It is miserable to have to.
Yeah.
I did for a while when I very first got out. I went through this. I'm drinking a gallon of water a day.
Oh, I remember you were hardcore.
It was awful. I was tearful because I couldn't get bathroom breaks.
Mhm.
And now, it's terrible because I shouldn't do this, but I take hydrochlorothiazide. And the other day, I was in a really fast-paced surgery center, and the surgeons time us. We're 4-minute turnover times, and I do not have time to go to the bathroom, so I just didn't take my medicine that day.
Yeah.
But you can't,
No.
especially on a diuretic. Listen, when you finally got to go, it is I'm well, something's gonna happen here. You're gonna let me go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
You are allowed to be. He can get over his
I
1
know.
minute time. He
He
will
was-
survive.
He kept coming and staring at me in pre-op. Like one of my patients, I had a patient, she woke up during her hysterectomy. And, normally we're like, so I'm always like, it said in her chart. So I went out and talked to her and she was super nice. And I was like, so just tell me like what happened when you woke up during your hysterectomy. And she said, I'm going to be honest. She said, I didn't feel any pain. She said, all I remember is I opened my eyes and I was like, oh my gosh, my eyes are open. That's all I thought. And she said, and then I heard somebody yell, oh, like she's awake. And then everything went black. And she said, and then they met me out in recovery after I was all the way awake and asked me what I remembered and if I was okay and if I needed counseling and like all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, she legitimately woke up because you don't have very many real ones.
Okay, but I still have questions.
Okay.
Was it laparoscopic? Was it
was 25 years
vaginal?
ago, so it was not laparoscopic.
So it was probably open.
Yes.
So
And she did have a big scar, so I think it was.
So had they done a spinal?
I did not ask her that.
Because it still could be that it was a spinal with sedation.
It could have been.
And her sedation
And they did
kinked
do
off,
more of that then.
which would explain why she wasn't hurting.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I did.
Because you would think if you woke up,
you would have pain.
You would have pain. Unless you had like a spinal or an epidural or a something that you were sedated. I still have questions.
I do too. Because that could have been it. I didn't think about that. Mm-hmm. Which when she said 25 years ago, I'm like, oh, it was 2000.
Sweet Jesus.
I know. Later I thought about it. I was like, I was acting like it was like 1983. And I'm like, oh, we do stuff way different. And I was like,
holy crap.
Oh my gosh, it was 2000.
Did you not see the meme? It was that exact one. Everybody born in 2000 is now 25, but that's funny because I'm still 25.
That math.
That does not seem right.
Right? So like when people tell me their medical stuff, oh, I had it done 30 years ago. And I'm like, oh, that was like forever ago. And now I'm like,
our drugs are way better.
I'm like, they probably put a rag over your face. No, it was 2000. It hit home after I thought about it.
Oh, that hurts a little bit.
It did hurt.
Yeah, because I totally, when you said 25 years ago, I was like, oh, well, who knows what they did. Well. Oh, jeez.
Anyways,
that's rude.
So I know it's hateful.
It's very hateful.
So I was talking to this woman who was a little nervous about going back because of that. She hadn't had any surgery since then. And she was very nice. And the surgeon was standing at the doorway staring at me, kind of tapping his foot a little bit. And I was like,
keep tapping, I'll take longer.
You don't know me very well, but I am very spiteful.
I can go slower.
I will go slower. And I'm going to be like, so tell me about where you were born. Go through your life story up until that hysterectomy.
Was it a sunny day?
Yeah. How's your mom doing? How does that make you feel? But yeah. So that stuff drives me crazy and doesn't make me move any faster.
Yeah. No, we call that pulling a rod.
And I
will go slower.
I will. Because I'm sorry, it's literally like a 7-minute turnover there. And I'm like, if I can comfort her before she goes back, that's actually my job.
That's going to be a huge
part of my job.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I get to go home when this day is over. I want it done just as much as you do, bro.
That's exactly right. I'm like, I get to go home just when you get to go home.
But I am allowed to eat a cracker. I am allowed to pee. Mm-hmm. I am allowed to check in on the well-being of my patient and make sure that I have a good plan and understand their history. Like those are patient and Lacey safety things that will happen.
Because this is just a quick reminder for surgeons that are listening out there. You know how when you break and you leave and you have people close for you,
we're still doing
the patient up and all those things and have to go to recovery and give them reports.
We're still there.
We're still there. You know how you eaten a snack, feed, and hydrated?
Yeah, we did none of those.
Still there.
Like that legit 4-minute turnover, that is our time.
Yeah.
And even during some of that, we're getting ready for the next case. Yes. So we're lucky if we had 8 minutes.
And then, you know, how we go get the patient and bring them back and put them to sleep and prep them. All those things.
Yeah.
Still there.
I am glad we don't have to bring our patients.
I am glad too.
That's a little thing. And I
do not appreciate that.
You like getting your patient?
No, I have mixed emotions because the only good thing is I get to talk to them for a little bit longer before I go back and develop a little bit of a rapport with them. But I also feel like I can do that when they roll in the room fairly quickly.
Totally. You like people more than I do.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a lot.
I don't need that much time.
There's a couple that
I don't need that much time.
I love C-sections and them meeting their baby.
Yeah, but that's different. That's
different. It depends on how crazy they are. And at our facility, they're usually
great.
But
Chances are high.
But I did tell her on her way back, I was like, this is one thing I love about the Biz monitor, which is a sticker
Yeah.
that we put on your forehead and it monitors brain waves. So there's a number that we keep it between that tells us you're nice and asleep and comfortable. And then if you're starting to wake up at the end, it can tell us how quickly you're waking up. And so I love telling that to patients because it puts them, I mean, you can see them like take a deep breath. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, it shows me like exactly where you're asleep. Oh, she felt much better after that. But I was like, I'm gonna stand her and make her feel better. Yeah. So
I think that's a good segue. You brought up the
I
Biz
agree.
monitor to random stuff we put on you and or monitor while you're sleeping and safe positions we have you in while you're asleep. So that's, I don't know. I think most people don't realize that we do certain things like tape your eyes closed.
I can remember being in the CVICU. So, I mean, I'm a nurse at this point, and they would bring those fresh hearts to you, still intubated, because you'd keep them intubated for 4 to 6 hours, depending on how they were doing, and then we'd extubate them. But they would still come with their eyes taped, and it annoyed me so much.
which you're still
And
sedated when you're being transported.
I
too,
did,
so.
yeah, they were, and so
Yeah.
I understand now, but at the
But-
time, I was like, "Why? This is ridiculous. Why do you have to tape their eyes?"
Yeah.
I totally had no idea.
No clue.
No clue, and I was a nurse.
At my last hospital, we actually had a meeting about that, and that if you are taking your patient to the unit to untape the eyes because people had passed family members in the hallway, and it totally
It is kind of traumatizing.
like they were having complaints about it from multiple people, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I can see that actually. So we
Yeah.
started untaping their eyes before we rolled them to the ICU.
Which, I mean, I understand both sides. So we do it because you don't have your lash reflex, so you can't protect your eye, and especially if you're someone who sleeps with it, sort of open, or if something hits it, like it's just an extra layer of protection.
So you don't get a
It's
corneal abrasion.
yeah, so that's why we do it, and we do take you still heavily sedated.
Well,
To
and
the
also
unit.
it's like when people are waking up, it's like their first
Oh,
instinct to go up
absolutely.
and touch or rub their eye or rub their
Their
nose.
nose.
So you're playing like whack-a-mole with their
Yeah.
arm.
Well, and often they have a sticker or a hard plastic to read their pulse ox. Yeah. And you're not coordinated. You're,
No. And
rubbing your whole face.
It doesn't matter what we've chopped off or cut open. If you get a corneal abrasion, that is
It'll
what
be
you will
worse.
complain about. They are awful and people hate them. So it is our like goal in life to make sure you don't get one.
So Aaron got one in the wild, for real in the wild, but he was
Oh yeah.
In the
in the wild.
That car situation that remember Hawk scratched my eye in the car and I was on the phone with you. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
about
you're
Aaron.
good. No.
I was like, that brought back a traumatic memory. She was like, it was awful.
In the wild, that did happen. Yeah, he was hunting and was coming out in the evening. It was dark, and he doesn't wear glasses or anything. It's dark time, so he doesn't have on sunglasses. And he's walking through, and there was a limb in a tree that he didn't see because it was dusk, and it literally gouged into his cornea. And we were here; we weren't living here yet, but thankfully, small town, we knew we could call people. So we called a friend, the one who lives in my house, my old house. Called a friend and we were like, oh my gosh, can you please look at him? And thankfully he did. He ran up and looked at him and did like all these drops and like patches and maybe even shaved on it. I can't remember. It was a nightmare. I thought I might have to kill Aaron. It was very, very hard on me. I don't wish that on anybody because it was terrible.
Kill him while he's down.
They just handle pain differently.
As in they don't. Well, and bless him, it hurt so bad, they gave him like a Norco or something. I don't remember what it was, but some little pill of some sort to help with the pain. He would not be a good druggie. It made him so nervous. Like I had gone back to work. I think maybe I was even in anesthesia school. I lose track of time, but he had come back for a checkup and it was still hurting so bad. That's when they gave him the pain pill, and had shaved around on it some more. He literally made my mom stop the car so that he could like walk outside because he felt so like coming out of his skin and like, yeah, he would not be a good druggie, which is good.
That's
a
good
good quality.
That's good to know. Yeah. Anytime like he has anything done, they try to give him a pill, he's like, nope, no, thank you.
I'll just deal with it. It's fine.
Yeah, it was terrible.
No, I was in the car backing up to go in my garage and she was on the car phone and I don't know what we were going from or anyways, but Hawk, my second, he was up and I turned my head and he reached up. I mean, he like scratched
It was
I
like a blood
started
curdling scream.
yeah, it was I couldn't
Oh.
control my response. It was truly a just visceral response.
And I was like,
Oh.
"Hey, I know you don't wanna hear this right now, but, you really do have to make sure that it's not scratched because 'cause you'll get an infection."
That's
I know that's not what you wanna hear right now.
especially a
Oh.
kid's
A fingernail,
fingernail.
yes.
Ooh. Oh, and he started crying, and I felt so bad. I'm like, "I swear I don't usually respond like this."
His sweet little voice,
Aw.
"Mommy, are you okay?" It was so sweet, though.
Poor buddy.
I know. It's
Anyway,
rough.
Did you
what
have to do any drops or
no,
anything?
I
No.
don't think it was like a real one. I don't know what it was.
It was real
Oh.
red the next day, but then it was better after that.
Yeah, so I can only imagine. So anyways, we do everything we
Yes,
can
that's
to
why we do
protect
it.
your eyeballs.
Yes. These are the reasons. It does not
That
feel
is
good.
definitely why. Yeah.
And then another thing we do is monitor your temperature. We put a little tent probe in your nose sometimes. Sometimes it's esophageal and it goes
Mhm.
through your mouth, but
We can't stick it on your skin. It's not very
It's not as
accurate.
good, but that's what a lot of places still do, I feel like.
Yeah.
Depends on the facility. And how big the surgeries are, how long they are. I think that definitely makes a difference. And we, based off that temperature, then warm you. So we try to keep you at a normal temperature.
because while you're
You
asleep, you're
do
not
better, you heal better.
regulating
Yep.
your body temperature, and also you're losing your heat, especially if it's a big belly case or
Yeah.
We put you in those paper thin gowns and tell you to deal with it.
Yeah.
But most people, when
And
it's
we
frigid in the
It is
OR,
cold.
we a lot of places have like a at an
Kinda like a
orthopedic hospital I work at, they have gowns and you plug them in and they blow hot air up and so it covers your whole body. But some places just have the blankets.
Yeah,
And
we have
so,
some you can lay on.
yeah,
We, can warm the fluids going through your IV. I like that a lot.
it does help because infusing cold fluids does not help anything at
Yeah.
all.
No.
No,
because when I got my fluids, when I got that
Oh,
real
hurts.
sad stomach
it
bug,
doesn't make your veins feel good. When
Yeah.
no, and it makes you so cold.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're already
Then you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
You already feel bad, and then you've got, like, the shivers on top
Yeah.
of it.
Which it's funny, we warm our fluids, but a lot of places I work don't have fluid warmers, and you just get it out of the drawer, and if you pick
Mhm.
it up,
It is cold.
yeah.
and so I'm like, "This is not helping my
No.
temperature problem."
I like warm fluids, and I'll even, like, put it on top of the desk for a while, and then I'll keep it a little bit, but not great.
not quite as much, but it's better than straight out of the
Put
drawer.
my
I
hands
know,
on.
right?
Our desk flooring has to be heated
Yeah.
and warmed, so, like, we'll put our little thing that we turn it on, it's like a fire.
Yeah. It is quite nice.
But,
But
what's other safety things that we do in the OR that most people don't know about?
We restrain, like, your arms or your
Mhm.
other limbs so that it's not falling off.
because we change positions
We
with our
do.
bed, up, down,
Mhm.
side, so if we don't
So if you're
put your arms
asleep,
down, it'll just fall off and you have 0 control, of course. You could literally rip up something in your
Yeah,
shoulders or
break something.
Mhm.
We pad literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything is on like an egg crate or some sort of cushiony patty something.
Very comfortable.
'cause that way, yeah, your nerves can be affected or
Mhm.
damaged, and that's
'Cause yeah.
go ahead.
Well, normally, like, if you're asleep, but you're not, like, with a general anesthetic asleep, you can still, like, move and adjust your body. Think about it at night, you roll around, you move around, that's to relieve those pressure points and those things, but if we've put you to sleep, you don't do that. So we really pad everything
And if you're
and in a good
older,
neutral
yeah,
position.
you don't have you have the thin skin, you don't have a lot of
Mhm.
fat back there to cushion,
Yeah.
then you can really have skin breakdown pretty quickly
Yeah.
in the OR with some of these long cases.
And I will caution too, we use different types of tape on you when we do,
Mhm.
like when we place the breathing tube and we tape it to you or your eyes. Elderly people who have, like she was saying, the real thin skin can tear your skin. So, I mean, we try to, so there's paper tape and there's
Mhm.
plastic, there's silk, I don't know what that peach stuff is made out of.
I don't
I
either.
hate that tape, but that's a me thing.
I like the thin one.
Okay.
I like the thin one
Thick
for
one's
an
hard to
ET tube, um,
with beards.
because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary for everybody. Silk
I
tape
agree.
is fine for 90% of the
Yes.
people, but
Those
I
big old
do
hairy
like it for
beards.
the big hairy or the people that I think are gonna wake up crazy and I want it
Mhm.
really in there. I do like it, but, I don't like the thick one, and it's not easy to tear. It doesn't matter
Once
if you
it
try to
touches
cut
something
it,
else, it is that is what it is attached
Yeah.
to.
Stop.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
It's very sticky.
Oh, and girls, if you have lashes,
Oh yeah.
we got you.
We got you.
We fold over this gauze and we lightly cover and tape over the gauze. I'm telling you, I haven't lost an eyelash.
Mm-mm.
I feel
Top
like
priority.
when
Yeah.
if you do, it's like I need to pay you $3
Yeah.
for your one
Just
lash.
your
that
one
you-
lash. Yeah.
The guys try, they really do, but like
They
one
just
of them the
don't
other day
get
was
it.
like, she got them done yesterday. I'm like, well, did they call her and tell her they were going to tape her eyes yesterday? No, they did not.
I will say with one of my surgeries, they told me no eyelash extensions, and I texted a friend who worked there, and I was like, "I'm not taking these off," and they were like, "Oh, it's fine. We tell everyone that, but it's fine."
Well, I had my cousin ask me about acrylic nails.
Yeah,
'cause
Oh,
she
she-
tell you none of those.
Yeah, and she's like, "Would if it was your child, would you tell them to go take it off?" And I'm like, being that she needs to go get them redone anyways, yeah, just take them off for the time being.
Yeah.
Extra risk. Like overall, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of our patients have something. I had one that
Yeah.
popped off, just one, and she was like, "This is what you can check my oxygen."
Yeah.
She just brought this one down. I was like, "Thanks, girl," because they were black. Sometimes the black or the really dark ones can cause
Mhm.
issues. But
Yeah.
for the most part, we can read
It's
through
really thick. Yeah.
you get a little leg massage. They put these on your
Yeah.
calves to it helps with the blood flow, so you don't get a blood clot down there, and it gives you a nice little calf massage
Mhm.
while you're sleeping.
I tell my patients, it's like you're at the spa. We just
Mhm.
put
I
the
say
warm
the same
blankets on
thing.
you.
Yep, getting your massage.
Lift your head, whisper sweet nothings in your ear.
Which I don't think I had ever heard until one of our surgeons became adamant about it. But having the SCDs, the massagers for the blood clots on as we're getting you to sleep.
They do want you to
They
do that?
do.
Oh, so you remember them having it on
I
there,
don't
or
know
what's
if
the why?
well, no, they said something. I mean, she said, and I haven't looked it up. I need to look it up. She said that that's one of the highest risk times is as you're putting them to sleep. And I was like, I mean,
Hmm.
for an
Isn't that what
event,
stasis?
maybe.
Yeah,
but
that's,
I mean,
You're not gonna have a blood clot settle
in 2 seconds.
within 5 minutes in the
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Otherwise, we'd all be screwed while we were going to sleep.
she's real OCD. You know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So I think maybe it's just a her thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
whatever.
But
I didn't care.
I have heard of the most incidents with like gynecologic is that how you
Cool.
say that?
Gynecological.
Mhm.
Yes. Cases. And I don't know if it's because maybe people have been more
Because they're
lax
usually
on
been
it because it's really
Short
quick
cases.
and they're up in lithotomies.
I was gonna say, I wonder if positioning matters.
Yeah.
I can see where that positioning would cost more. So, gynecological procedures, your legs. Sorry,
It's like
but
if you're
this-
birthing a baby.
your legs are up and bent.
In for your pap smear.
Yeah. Yes.
Spread them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
yeah.
we usually, so just so y'all know, we cover the windows when we're in those positions. And
Mhm.
so the only people that see anything are in the room. And once the drapes are up, you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
But in the positioning, we make sure we bring your hips up at the same time so we don't pull things.
And let's be real honest, nobody wants to look.
Nobody wants to look.
No one cares what your hoo-ha looks like.
Nobody wants to. You don't want to look. We don't want to look.
Nobody.
They're all the same. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And we don't look down there,
We
just so you know. We
absolutely
stay up
know.
ahead.
Yeah.
Surgeon is on that. And
Every once in a
actually-
while they'll be like, ooh, and I'm like, nope, don't care.
I'm going to stay up here. Head up.
I went to a lot of school to not have to look.
Not area anymore.
especially for colonoscopy.
Hey, man.
Keep that in down there.
Yep. Y'all keep cleaning. I'm good up here.
But yeah, back to position. So lithotomy is with your legs up in the stirrups. And then we do different positions with the bed. We do Trendelenburg and reverse Trendelenburg with your head
So
down.
Trendelenburg, head down, reverse,
Just
head
with
up.
your head up.
And that's why we got to strap you in pretty good because of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll tuck your arms and then we'll paddle there.
Mhm.
With our robots, we like to, because the arms are all kind of all over the place, we put a big foam pillow over your face to protect
Mhm.
everything. And sometimes we put goggles over your eyes.
Mhm.
We also have the beach chair for shoulder
We
surgery.
talked a little bit about that last time, maybe. But you literally you were talking about your
Oh, yeah,
patient with
yeah.
the crazy wig. Yeah. We literally make you look like you're sitting in a beach chair. So back up, and then your booty's sitting there, and then your legs down.
And you're
just
paralyzed.
missing your umbrella drink.
So we watch your neck, we strap your head in, but we got to make sure your eyes, ears, nose, mouth are nice and clear. So you're just comfortably
Yeah.
Chilling at the beach.
secured.
In a neutral position.
Yeah. That's probably the position I hate the most.
I do. I would rather do prom than beach chair.
I think I would rather do
I
prom.
hate beach chair. It doesn't.
I
bother
do
me.
hate
I used to hate backs, but I think once you do them enough, like in a
Have
row
to
enough,
jump.
like you're just like, okay, just flip them. My only thing is at the end when I'm waking them up,
Mhm.
and like the other day I had a
It's so
young
hard to
boy,
time.
I couldn't get I wanted to put an oral airway or a soft bite block in, and I did not have time. And I know people are like, well, put it over before you flip it over. I don't like that. It can displace their tongue and do
Mhm.
things, and I don't like that. So
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
just risked it, and if I was gonna have to put them back down, I would. But because you want, man, once you flip them over, they want you to be awake, and the two
Mhm.
come out, and so it's not like you can keep them asleep. And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm doing a push-up while they're
yeah.
on their belly.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's
Yeah.
the only thing that I dislike. Like if
Yeah.
they're older, it doesn't bother me too much because they don't usually bite the tube hard enough to include
Mhm.
it. But
Yeah, prone is when you're face down, and sometimes you're face down with your head to the side, like a ERCP, right?
yeah, that's what, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a sloppy prone, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you have a special head positioner and you're truly
Yeah.
like face down. And then once we flip you over, we rotate your
Add
arms.
you everywhere and yeah.
Mhm. Put your arms up.
Kinda like a Superman.
We have to be super careful with your shoulders because we
Mhm.
literally move them very slowly and back in. And we always,
Mhm.
that's why we are always really annoying. And we're like, do you have shoulder pain, hip pain?
Mhm.
Where do you hurt? So we can pad you and make sure you don't wake up stiff.
Yeah. I lied. I might hate prone more. Just because I do always worry when we're moving their shoulders because some of the people because it's you can't do everything. And so you're helping watch and you're helping do, but you have circulators, you have techs, you have surgeons, you have whoever, and sometimes they're just quick moving those arms and placing the pads and
I will say, normal sized patient, great beach chair. I'll pick that any day over prone.
I
Like,
agree.
because I have a bed at one facility that literally is, it takes two people, press a button, they raise up, everything's wonderful. You don't have to do anything. Other one, 8 people, everybody's huge.
Yeah.
No offense, but if you weigh a whole lot, it's a
It's
difficult position to
challenging.
be in.
Yeah. But prone is too. They
That's
both
true.
are if they're
That's true.
huge. It
And your
doesn't really
lungs
matter.
don't like it.
Mm-mm.
Well, the prone.
Yeah. Most
Beach chair,
people
yeah.
know prone from the COVID days because they would talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
getting you intubated and putting you on your belly.
And so if you've ever had to have back surgery, we do that. And we have a really
Mhm.
cushiony pillow, but occasionally you'll still have marks
Yeah. Oh, I feel
where
so
you wake
bad
up.
when they do.
And I try to, we have a pillow that's a little bit harder that I don't love, but I'll try to move your face like even ever so slightly when you're in there just to change the pressure
Mhm.
points.
Yeah, I had worked with I was a student and she was already a CRNA and she had had scoliosis severe. She had the surgery, but she got a pressure point on her forehead and had to have plastic surgery to like fix her.
Yeah, those are long surgeries.
Yeah.
And it was probably one of the, mirror ones because those are hard.
That's the
Yeah.
one that we have.
I don't like that one.
I don't either. I had one patient that woke up one time and she had this place right here that was that was white and it wasn't blanching. And I panicked about it. Like I was so upset.
Of course.
And then luckily we followed up with her the next day and it was fine. But it was white, like all the way to all the way to recovery.
Oh,
And
that
I
makes
was
me
just sick
sick.
about it. I was sick about it
Yeah.
because her surgery, something went wrong in it and it ended up being like a 6-hour
Hours.
surgery. And even though I was trying to move her head, you still,
Yeah. Well, and I worry about the blindness
oh yeah, because that
when
is a risk.
when you're prone that long.
Especially if you're heavy, that puts you at a much higher risk for it.
Yeah.
You can wake up blind. Which when we have that white herder pillow, we have these soft things called Mepilex. It's actually a wound dressing, but it's a little cushiony. It adds a little extra layer of protection from and I will load those up.
Mhm.
But I promise we do everything we can.
We do.
We do, but these are things that like they're not openly talked about because when would we talk about all of those
Right.
minor details? But it is good knowledge to know when you go into it that you are gonna be obviously not in control, but we are trying to monitor and help you in that capacity too.
And
So
we do check you every about 15 minutes. Check those points, make sure nothing's moved, make sure you're still how you were, all those things. But
Like
it also raises your risk, I feel like, if there is an event. And I don't think people think about that. It's like we may tell you you're a higher risk for anesthesia or surgical complications. Uh, and then if you add a weird position to it, it's even more so. With your head up, it takes forever to put you back down. If you're prone, it takes forever to flip you. I mean, not forever, but it feels like it's forever. If you're lateral on the pegboard for a hip, that takes a while to undo all those pegs and get you flipped back.
Oh, that's a good one to talk about too, the pegboard.
I hate that thing.
So
Hate
a
it
lot of
with a
them, so it
passion.
depends on where you are now. Some of them
Some do,
we
yeah.
do what we call an anterior approach, which is you're
Mhm.
laying down and they come in up here. And then some places still do where they need you on your side to like pop your hip out and all that jazz.
Mhm.
But we have to hold you there. So you get to be on the what we call a pegboard, which is literally like a
It's
light
hard.
right board
Yeah. Yes. It's a
with
great
those
description.
things. And those they're hard.
Mhm.
But and it sandwiches you in between there because they have to have you even.
Mhm.
And sometimes, as much as we've had those, if you have extra tissue or loose tissue or anything like that, it can you will have a mark, and we are worried and watching about it.
Yeah.
But again, we do everything humanly possible to make sure.
Yeah.
Which and we do, and I'm sure other ORs do as well. We don't participate usually in I think they do them twice a year, the mock drills for like the mock codes in the OR, but they always do at least one that's a position change. So they'll do one that's like a beach chair and you have to get them
Get
down
'em
and code
laying.
them. Or they've done the pegboard, they've done prone. They're pretty good to kind of rotate through some of them because it does take a second and you got to kind of think about it. What's the best way and the quickest way to get them where you can help
You can
them.
do compressions if you have to, or
Back surgery, I've had one, and they throw staples in faster than you ever seen, and just flip you over, and we just start it up.
Mhm.
But it is hard. I mean, it makes it harder. They're definitely.
Yeah.
We want to start as soon as humanly possible.
Yeah, we do.
So
Minutes matter.
it does.
it does. And I I don't know a delicate or nice way to say that your body size and body habitus matters. It
Yeah,
makes it
it does.
very difficult when you have really heavy patients, which
we have a lot of.
we know, yeah,
Our population is just
it's just
larger where we work.
hard, but it's another little thing to put in the back of your mind. Let's be healthy, or try to be, so we're not obese for many reasons, but one of them being
Yeah.
surgery.
Oh, I mean, it just raises your risk for everything. I think if your BMI is over, is it 35,
Yeah.
you immediately become an ASA3 or a PSA3, whatever we're supposed to call it these days.
I didn't know they changed that.
Oh, that's a whole debate between the different people that provide anesthetics.
You heal differently. You recover differently. It's harder to rehab. Just so many things. Yeah.
I think it's so ASA is from the anesthesiologist board. And so some CRNAs like to go by, I think they call it a PSA, a patient.
Provider. Oh,
or
patient.
I think
Is
it's patient.
Is it patient?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't care about that.
I'm not political in regards.
I am not political. I don't care. I think everyone has their purpose.
That's all.
Absolutely.
Just take care of people the right way.
Together, keep patients safe.
This won't make friends. I probably shouldn't say.
Oh,
Do it. Okay, put this out. I hate that we're trying to change our name.
Oh, I hate it.
Hate it.
I don't want to cause confusion to the patient, and I don't also want to explain.
I don't know that it's necessarily misleading, and I do think it's easier for people to say.
Absolutely, it's easier for people to say.
So I do understand that side of it, but
Yeah.
we've been around a long damn time with
Yeah.
the same name.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Just keep
Except
educating.
ruffling- except
Just
ruffling
keep
feathers.
educating people.
We're ruffling feathers. That's what we're doing.
Sweet Jesus.
And this is also probably
I just don't
popular
care.
opinion. We're never going to win against who we're fighting because we don't have
We
as much money.
Yeah,
No.
so they have
And
more
really,
money
it
than
all comes down to money. And as
Yes.
sad as that is, we ain't got it. They
But
make 3 times as much as we do.
I mean, I love that people are passionate about it. I'm not that person.
I'm
I don't
not-
care.
I don't have anything to prove to you. I mean,
don't care. I don't feel bigger or littler.
I don't either.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I will say
Call me
this.
hey anesthesia. I mean,
I don't care.
Yeah, I also don't care about that.
Now, don't call me an AA. No, I'm teasing.
But
That was a joke.
but I will say one thing that does annoy me. We are not equal. We might do the same job, but they did go to more school and they are more educated than we are. It is
Yeah.
factual information because of the years that they've
They can
trained.
do a pap smear and I can't. That's okay. I'm
Whatever.
good with it.
That's why I didn't do it.
I don't care.
Because I do the same job.
Can we all provide anesthesia to the same level?
absolutely. That's so there is, yeah. And I find that there's one that we work with specifically that I'm like, I respect you for what you
Agree.
did.
And I like being able to put your name that you were fully aware of all the things.
Correct.
And when I can't think of something, I love being like, hey,
Hey,
let me borrow your brain for
yeah.
a minute. Tell me what you think.
I mean, I feel like that one usually goes and Googles it himself, but that's fine. Some of them are walking textbooks. Some of them are not. I am not, so I can't judge.
I'm not either.
Well, then I'll pull out the most random fact you have ever heard of, and I'm like, see, did you hear that?
Look at me saying things. I think it was right.
I pulled out a fact the other day, and my husband goes, "Have you noticed that the only facts that you ever tell me about are related to cleanliness or sterility or something with germs?" And I was like, that makes sense.
You are
That tracks.
OCD.
Like, that does track.
Funny. The other day and for whatever reason, their pulse ox was reading like low 90s. And he was a relatively healthy patient, middle age, like nothing that should have been alarming.
Right.
We were also supine and just, if anything, maybe even a little bit head up. Like I was like, this is not
optimal
making
conditions.
sense.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I am like literally troubleshooting everything. I've got obviously I listen, I play, like I do the bag, I'm listening to the lungs bilaterally and like just the whole nine, like going through. I'm like, are we VQ mismatch? Like, how are we not perfused? So another CRNA pops in the room and I'm like, hey, help me think through this. Like, what am I missing? Because I did even say maybe it's just bad perfusion in their fingertips. And it was a nail, so it wasn't finger paint, or nail paint, nail polish. I cannot talk today. Anyway, so he's like, well, why don't you just try it on the ear? 9,900.
That's what the ear's always like 3.
So I have a question. Which finger was it on?
I couldn't tell you. It was tucked. I was in a robot, so I don't actually know.
Okay. Well, I do find that I get a better number if I do it on the middle finger because it gets some radial and some ulnar perfusion. And I had read an article years ago that was the better finger for your pulse ox for that reason, because if they're in a position that it's a little affected, or if they have one that's not as good, you get both with that middle finger. And so it's more reliable for what it's worth. But yeah, if my fingers aren't working, I immediately go to something more core.
Yeah. And that's
An
what
ear, a nose,
usually
a lip.
3 to 4% higher.
I
If
agree.
you have somebody that's lower,
I
Rod
was
taught me
like,
that.
but that's number one. When you're a student, like you just change the site real quick and you make sure, but I was like, no, there's clearly something very wrong
You
here.
just want to be like, I'm going to diagnose this patient with something.
Well, because there was no real reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wasn't tucked right, and I bet it was on the first finger.
That, and I bet it
Maybe
it wasn't covered and kind of maybe a little cold, which is sometimes you get a poor reading.
Absolutely.
Which, have you all seen that trick where you do the little the alcohol swab and you put it through?
Yeah, that works. That's a good one.
One of our anesthesiologists taught us that.
She did.
Years ago.
I didn't know. I don't know where I picked it up. I'm sure from one of y'all.
Probably.
Learned it from her.
I'd love to say
It's one of my go-tos.
Yeah.
She taught me that, to put a warm blanket over their head before you go to PACU so you get the right temperature, and to give 100 of phenylephrine on your way out of the OR so their blood pressure is wonderful.
That's a cheat.
And then you walk away. That's the 3 things.
Then you walk away.
But I was like, but then won't they just call you in a minute?
Yep, sure will.
They'll call them, not us. We'll be
her
back
problem.
in the OR.
Yeah.
Well, how about nail check for this week?
Yeah. Oh, y'all don't even know this, but I canceled mine today. I got an alert that I was supposed to get my nails done at 10:30, and I was like, well, that's not happening. So
Hey,
I sent her a
that was after
message.
the fun run.
I
After
know.
we could have just swung by.
That's true.
Well, it sent me my reminder. This hair. What is happening? Anyway, it sent me literally right as we were getting ready to start our race. It sent me my alert, and I had completely forgotten about it.
Oops.
And I was like, oh, I'll send you money, but I will not be there. So I sent her, because I've been mower. So I sent her money, and I was like, sorry, you're not going to make it. And she immediately, God love her, she's the best. She's immediately texted back and was like, are you okay? What's going on?
She's like, something's wrong.
What do you need?
That makes sense. So you got your hair done and your nails. So I'm piecing out your routine here, your timetable.
Well, part of it is because we leave for the beach.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
And so I'm trying to get,
fair?
all the things done.
Is it?
I do so I'm torn because I like my nails done before the beach. I do, because, I'm bougie. But I feel like the sand and all the stuff is so hard on it that by the third day, it's a wasted effort.
That's what
I need it done right after. I'm kind of thinking, so they're not terrible. I don't know if you can see. Well, it's my same ones from a while ago, but I've cut them because, I can't handle it when they're long.
But they don't look like
But they don't look bad. Like, I
No.
think if I just give them a little file,
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
And then you get it done when you get
And then
back.
I'll get it on
That's
my
what I
back.
think.
Slap some of that
And
oil on
I'm
them to make
feeling
them
pretty
shiny.
fancy. Look from afar, sort of
they
match.
do.
Actually do, yeah.
I'm not showing you my feet, but yes.
There might be some people who are into that, Lacey.
I have to give a shout out to Cassie. I forgot the socks again.
I know she asked me about those. I was
They're
like, what are you
literally-
talking
I don't
about?
know this
Do
story.
you know where they're sitting? They're sitting, I forgot my microphone and everything at my house. They're sitting with my microphone, all my stuff to come record. So one of our wonderful techs in the pre-op, she does it all actually. She got us these adorable socks that have eyeballs and hold hands when you put them together.
She got us those?
Yes.
Oh, I've seen them and
Yes.
I love them.
They're so cute. And so she wanted us to wear them on the podcast, which we will do. I
We
promise.
we are going
I
to.
am very excited.
You trusted the wrong one of us,
I know.
though, okay? You
I
should
have. I
never
remembered
get
them. I put them all. But
This one literally called me. She's like, "Hey, I just left and I didn't bring any of my recording stuff." And I was like, "That's what the whole weekend is for."
well, I said
Like
to
we've
turn back
thrown
around
in
again.
other plans. But
She, oh, you don't need that. She got thrown me under the bus. Like,
well, you knew I was going to.
It was fun because I didn't know about
switching to that.
That's fine. I like
She
being
ain't
in the
thrown me under
middle.
the bus yet, although I think she was over here mocking me anyway.
Never. No, I told Lacey when I rolled up, I was like, I almost forgot all of it. I threw it in the bag in the last minute, and she's like, "Oh, that's funny," because Sarah did.
That really did.
And then we need a word of the week, and I actually got some feedback about word of the week. They want to hear. They want to hear how we use it.
So
more
I
often.
used Dragon this week. I had to do 2 epidurals back to back. They were all challenging for reasons. They were larger girls. One of them had a doula. Shout out to doulas.
See, I didn't think you got an epidural if you had a doula.
This one did, and she needed it. I'm okay with that.
I feel like it.
I have a love-hate with
I
doulas.
know.
Sometimes I think it was just a good support person
Okay.
for her. I
Well,
think
that's
that's
fair.
really what it was. And her father person, I don't know if they're married, baby daddy, whatever the person was, he was trying. God love him. He was in over his head and he was just petting her. And I was like, that would drive me crazy.
Well, it's like those scenes from those old movies or like Game of Thrones. It's like all you're giving birth surrounded by other women.
Yeah.
Because like
I do
they
understand
get
that.
it.
I would have rather had that than Aaron. He would. I mean, he just yelled at me to count and like counting numbers. Anyway, so I don't love a doula, but some of them are helpful. And this is one that I've worked with before. And she's actually very helpful, very respectful. She's not full on
Anti.
doula crazy. But anyway, thankfully both went in well and it was all fine. But in the second one, I was like, oh, I got to work in Dragon. So I was giving my speech and I always say something about it's a continuous infusion. And when you start feeling like that's not working, it usually means like you're getting closer to baby time. And I used to just tell them to hit the little button that's the bonus button to get extra medicine. But I got in trouble by the nurses because they don't like that. They like to check them first. And so now I've said in my speech, when you start feeling that extra pressure and like you're not as happy, holler at your nurse. They're going to check you. They'll let you know if you can push this bonus button. So my whole spiel. So I was like, and if you start feeling like a dragon is coming out of your hoo-ha and burning you from the inside
Well
out.
played. That is
Nice.
that is good.
Yeah,
Props to you for
And
that.
the doula looked at me like I was crazy, but I was like, yeah, it's fair enough.
It's worth the story.
You don't need to know.
You know,
need to know.
It's fine.
watch the podcast. And
That's
you will
right.
know.
And you would know.
Here's our card.
Yep. So that was my
That's
usage for
good.
dragon.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I didn't have any epidurals this week.
I wasn't there this week, so I did not.
Well, maybe we
I
should
thought,
keep
like,
score.
Battle Dragon.
Oh, I like it. Turn it into a
So-
competition.
Yeah, I love the competition.
How
But
do
if
you
I'm on
shoot?
vacation, I can use it on my family.
Good. I mean, I don't know. I'm on vacation next week too, and then you're on after that.
Yep.
So we could try. We're wanting them to use it out in the wild. We might as well try.
Yeah,
I guess.
That works.
So-
Absolutely.
Like use it at the store.
Oh,
Somebody's
yeah.
checking us out.
Yeah.
Somewhere awkward.
Oh, we saw a dragon lady at the race today.
Yeah, we did.
She was
smoking and
literally
everything.
smoking before she was running.
She's
and
like
I was
stretching.
I did ask Blaze, I'm like, do you think it cancels each other out if you are a runner and a smoker?
So funny enough, she kept running by me, and then somehow she was behind me again. And I think it was either because she stopped and smoked.
I
or
bet
she
so.
stopped and puffing on her.
inhaler. Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
or she's like a bee pollen. She had all this wonderful.
I think she won the award for like the best dressed or
or most
something.
colors.
And she did.
She was. She definitely
That
was.
cigarette out would be great. But she did look like a dragon, just smoking.
She
right
did.
away.
She did. She had the short haircut.
Yeah.
The little spiky hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, so did we come up with the word of the week? Oh,
We do. And then we'll each give an example, our best example for how we used it,
Okay. I like this.
and vote who wins.
And if y'all have one, y'all can send it in. We'll
Yeah,
guess it.
and we'll make it work.
Yes.
But the first thing that came to mind for me today was turquoise because of this.
that.
Turquoise is.
Yes. Okay. Turquoise. That's going to be tough for an epidural.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
Oh, you got a plan.
Got a plan. Just like that.
Oh, well, you guys get a hour special this week since I don't know, we've had some glitches between Mother's Day and then
Life. Life in
Life.
general.
but it's like it's a special because we're all together too.
Yes.
So
Yes. We're going to do some TikToking later. Our kids have promised that they're going to teach us some dances. So
yes, that was my other thing. So okay, I didn't watch the show still.
you heifers never watch the things I tell you to watch.
I'm going to. I just haven't had. I haven't watched anything.
Next time we're working and you're working till 7, I'll go to my call room and watch.
Touche.
Okay, so but for real, I was watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, please.
That is
But-
amazing TV.
I don't want to spoil everything, but being that we're learning a TikTok later, we might have to
Yes.
be the CRNA Mom Talk.
Yes.
We're claiming that title right now,
Yes.
and
I'm here for it.
y'all might be better than us at it, but we're gonna try. I think this might be a thing.
Yeah. You're young. We're going to count on you.
Yes.
Oh God,
Kathleen.
never mind. I didn't clog ever, so
I did. I can do that.
I'll coordinate that. Yeah, I'll get the thing to record us, and I'll do that side. But okay.
I feel like we need those. They like those sticker cases.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm about? That's
Yeah, goes on any surface.
Yes.
The fridge, the
Yes.
window.
the Mom Talk girls. That's some amazing. I just thought the Real Housewives were great. Secret Lives of Mormon Ladies is amazing. That's some
Next level.
you bitches are crazy, but I love it. I am here
I
for
love
it.
it.
I would like to be your friend.
I think we could.
Maybe
Yeah.
from a distance. Maybe not real friends,
Yeah.
but like
Still watch the drama. And be a part of it.
you know what they do, which I actually meant to talk about, is they are all about the ketamine infusions.
Oh yes.
Huge supporters of
Oh,
ketamine
good.
infusions.
That could be our
That
next
needs to be.
episode.
It does.
Because we can talk about ketamine and like adjunct meds that we use during.
Because ketamine's not just a wonderful drug to buy on the streets or to tranquilize a horse. There
To,
are different ways to
overdose
use
on?
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What's his name?
Matthew Perry.
Friends guy.
So sad,
But
not to bring it. But we can tell you all the good ways it is used.
Why don't you know his name?
Why don't you? I mean, that's Prince. Don't.
What was his name on the show?
Oh, you better know this. Everly knows this.
Layla and Savvy know this.
can you give me a letter?
Just kidding. See,
I was thinking the real name. I'm sorry.
Joey is what I came
No.
to mind. It's not Joey.
there is a Joey on the show.
But
It's
just name all of them.
I
It should be
Tan.
easy.
I know Phoebe,
I love Phoebe.
Rachel.
Yes.
That was
Jennifer.
Ames.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Monica.
They,
already said one.
This one and that one were married.
Chandler.
There you go.
I got there.
What's his last name?
Yeah, right. That's his
Chandler
last.
Bing.
Oh.
Whole thing.
I was like, bing, 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 what? I did not get it. I did not.
No, you did not
No, you did not. You failed that test.
fail the Prince test.
They
Also,
had
while I'm in my call room.
yes, they had a trivia night at the school my kids go to. It was like they're always doing a fundraiser for something, and they texted us later, and they were like, "There was a bajillion Friends questions. We needed y'all." And we're like, "Oh, yes, we should have come. We didn't know it would be up our alley."
Well, I'll educate myself.
Yeah, but I like the plan for doing like multimodal and
Yeah.
ketamine, Presidex, go over Toradol,
Toradol, Tylenol.
Affirmav.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to look up because I feel like we're kind of swinging. It's like we went hardcore. Everyone needs Affirmav, which is like IV Tylenol.
Mhm.
Everyone was real excited about it. And I feel like most people are kind of swinging back to just taking a pill And pre-op.
before.
Because now they've ruled that you can do that without the risk of aspiration, and it's so much cheaper.
It's so much cheaper.
But I had an anesthesiologist not long ago tell me they didn't want me to give it in the case because they don't have anything to give in PACU. They're like, that's one of my things I give in PACU, and it makes them think they're getting. And I'm like, well, they are getting something, but if I can give it up front, I'm just a big believer in multimodal. So
I agree.
and then there are always those CRNAs are like, we just keep it simple. Y'all make it too complicated. But if you really think about all the different receptors and how they all go, you are really hitting different ones. And I want somebody to give me as much as humanly possible.
Yeah. And there's so many variables that go with that because sometimes less is more for especially the elderly and people's brains that we're worried about.
Oh, I was going to tell y'all
later.
NYSORA just came out with an article. I think it was NYSORA. Anyways, about how instead of using 30 mils of Ropiv for an interscaling, if you use 15 to 20, so there are different things, how much less likely you are to get the diaphragm. And that you should probably go that route. And I was like, I would do.
But what percentage are they doing? Are they going up? Are they doing like a 3/4%? Or are they still doing 0.5%?
I think it was still half. But don't quote me on that. I'd have to look that back up. But then you get, and it literally came across, I had a kid that we were doing abdominal surgery on him, but he was 22 out of the Army. He had torn his shoulder up. And let me see, his screws had come loose. He had had 3 shoulder surgeries. His first block lasted, oh my gosh, what did he tell me? Like 30 hours. And his second block, he said, wore off by the time he was home. And he said it was done by the same guy. And I thought that was incredibly interesting because I was like, he was asking me something about the blocks. And I said, well, we all metabolize things differently. And I was like I'm a rapid metabolizer of lidocaine.
Same.
Like at the dentist, it wears off really quickly when they're working on me. And I was like, some people don't metabolize it that fast, so their block lasts longer. So, because he was asking me what a normal range was.
I wonder too, because we've changed our practice even in the time that I've been there from a student to now. We used to add epi to it
And Decadron.
Yeah, which
And now we do just plain.
yeah. So we'll have a great episode for you on the next one.
Yeah. So much education.
And now to making TikToks.
Yeah.
Backstab is out.
All right. Jesus wants y'all to be quiet. Bye, y'all.
Be quiet. Backstabbers out.
Bye.